Hey guys, Johnny here again. This is week 6 of your health and fitness videos. Hopefully you have been making the most of them, putting the tools into practice that we've been going through, and hopefully they are making positive changes in your life. So this week, the habits that we're going to go through, we're going to step up a few of them, not all of them, because 6 weeks in, we've been adding an extra one on each week, and it does start getting to be quite a bit of work, so we definitely don't want to overwhelm you. So we're not going to add anything else this week. We're just going to step a few of them up if possible. So the first habit that we went through is water intake. Now we started very moderately. We've built that up, if you've been following each week, to a minimum of 2 litres of water per day for the average person. So we're not going to touch this one. If you haven't been getting to that 2 litre mark, try and do that this week. Make that your priority. Obviously, water very important for your overall health. So if you haven't been getting up to that mark yet, let's try and introduce an extra half a litre, 1 litre a day, whatever that needs to be to get to your 2 litre mark. Now, week 2's habit was nutrition tracking. If you've been following along, this week that will go up to 5 days per week. Now, this doesn't need to go any more than that unless you really want to. If you feel you'll benefit from adding extra days into your tracking, then by all means go for it. But if you're doing 5 days worth of tracking, whether that's just writing it down or actually following a specific amount of calories, you will be seeing some benefits, and 5 days per week is a lot more than most people, and you will start to really notice the changes if you keep that up. Now, if you feel that 5 days per week is going to be too much, you've got a busy lifestyle and you do find it a little bit overwhelming, which can happen, then that's absolutely fine. You just pick a number that works best for you. Now, week 3's habit was exercise, another fundamental part of a healthy lifestyle. If you last week followed along with the 10 minutes of exercise that we're doing a day, and you're consistently hitting that number, great work. If you're doing that, you are ahead of the curve. Okay, 10 minutes a day, especially with everything that's going on at the moment, is very good going, and you will start to see some benefits. Hopefully that is to your body composition goals, if you have one. Could be muscle gain, could be weight loss, and hopefully to your fitness as well. If you feel you can step that up, then I wouldn't even bother going for a full, trying to increase your exercise every day. I would just pick a couple of days, right, I'm going to try and do 15 to 20 minutes exercise on Tuesday and Thursday, 10 minutes a day the rest of the week. I'm more than happy with that, and if you can do that, again, you are well ahead of the curve, so keep up the good work. If you are not yet at that 10 minutes per day, then just build it up slowly. Try and get at least 5 minutes in, so you're doing some sort of movement. It's going to help you physically, mentally, and it will really make a difference to your overall health. Right, now week 4's habit was stretching. We're not going to group this with week 3's exercise, although it is a form of exercise. I would prefer you do your 10 minutes a day, something that elevates the heart rate, gets you a bit of a sweat on, where stretching can be done first thing on the morning, last thing before you go to bed is when I personally prefer to do it. But if you find you've got a couple of minutes in the middle of the day, maybe in between intervals on your TV programs that you watch, you could do a couple of minutes there, a couple of minutes there. Whatever works best for you and fits into your lifestyle best, go for that. And it could be any kind of stretching you want. It could be or mobility work. It could be static stretching, dynamic stretching, foam rolling. Whatever you find works best for you, or mix it up if you like. We're not going to change it this week either. This week's habit of stretching is just going to be the 5 minutes a day, twice a day if you can get there. If not, just do what you can. Right, week 5's habit was sleep. Now, if you had no issues at all with how much you sleep, then you don't need to focus on this habit. You can just keep doing what you're doing. Now, if you don't sleep enough or you don't have a good quality of sleep, then it is something that we want to focus on, because it can impact every aspect of your life, and it can have negative impacts on your physical and mental health. Your willpower is a lot lower if you're constantly tired, which can obviously impact your weight. It can impact your mood, and there's just a lot of negative things that come from a lack of sleep. Now, if you do have a problem with it and we do want to address it, then what we went through last week was choosing the ideal time that you want to go to bed or you want to wake up, and then just setting the bar pretty low by, just say that was 10 o'clock at night that you wanted to go to sleep. All we set last week was an hour after that. So if you're getting to bed by 11, we want to work towards that 10 o'clock, but we were just happy with that 1 hour away last week. This week, just to get a little bit closer, we're going to get another 15 minutes onto that. So 45 minutes away from your ideal bedtime or wake up time to get them hours in. And then we're going to keep adding a little bit more, getting a little bit closer each week until you're nailing that 8 hours or 7.5 hours, what you want to aim for, and you're doing it consistently. So guys, those are 5 weeks of habits that we've went through. Now, if you've been following along with the majority of these each week, no doubt you are starting to feel the benefits. It can be quite a lot of work when we're adding all these new elements into your lifestyle, which is why we do start with the baby steps mode, where we just dip our toe in the water, little by little we increase it. But as it's been 5-6 weeks now, it does start to build up. Now, we're not going to add anything else this week, but if you haven't been hitting any of them targets that we went through, then that should be the focus. Just whichever one you're slacking on, just put a little bit more focus on that one for this coming week. Now, with us not adding a new habit in this week, what we're going to do is we're going to go through a nutrition tip and an exercise / motivation tip. They're both based on the same concept, but you will be able to implement them into both aspects of your lifestyle. We're going to start with exercise. So now we're deep into this winter lockdown. Motivation is at an all-time low. So I want to speak today about how we can increase the likelihood that we're actually going to exercise. With motivation being rock bottom for a lot of people, myself included, we need to find little tricks and tools that we can use to actually get us to do what we know we should be doing, which is easier said than done, but that's why I want to go through this today. The concept that the concept that I'm speaking about is plan, prepare, so this week's tip is plan, prepare, make it easy to do and difficult to avoid. Now, when we're talking about exercise, how this is going to work is in the planning process, we're going to write down exactly what we're going to do, when we're going to do it. So booking a window in your diary, whether that's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. Plan it in for the day that you want to do it. So if I'm going to do this tomorrow, I know I'm going to do it at 7 a.m. That's going in my iCalendar. If you got a written diary, you're going to write that in. So you've got a little bit of accountability already just by planning that in. The next stage of planning is writing down exactly what you're going to do and why you're going to do it. If, for example, I'm going to do a 10-minute workout tomorrow, I'm going to write down I'm going to do 10-minute workout consisting of push-ups, squats, burpees. I'm going to do as many rounds as I can within 10 minutes. Why am I going to do this? I'm going to write down the reason for that. That could be to improve health, could be to lose weight, whatever your goal is, write that down so there's an even bigger reason that you're going to do it. You're going to keep this plan out so you can see it. It's not going to be tucked away so it never gets read. You're going to put that out so when you walk past it the next morning or whenever you're about to train, it's there ready to see. So the next step is making it as easy as possible to do. So in terms of exercise, the first thing I'd think of is getting your clothes ready for when you're going to train. So if that means if you planned in to do a run 7 o'clock in the morning, as soon as you wake up, you want them clothes ready, not to do on the morning. You should be doing that on the night before. This is where the planning comes in. If you put them down, so the first thing you see in the morning is your running clothes, it's making it that much easier for you to actually get it done and not talk yourself out of it. So if you make it easy, it's much more likely to happen. Now, the making it difficult to avoid part for exercise would come as telling people about it. So this could be your spouse, your kids, your friends. You could post it on Facebook. If you put on your Facebook wall, running starts tomorrow, 7 a.m. Whatever you're going to do, you've got that accountability, and it does make it difficult to avoid, especially if you tell people and you don't want to look bad in front of them. You start to build these reasons up that it's going to be less hassle to just actually get it done than to explain to all these different people why you didn't do it. So it is a big one, and it doesn't need to be like public. It could just be your family. It could be your best friend. If you just get someone to check in with you the day after, then you know it's coming, and it's going to keep you more accountable. Now we've went through exercise, it's time to look at nutrition and how does this apply to the concept that we spoke of. The plan, prepare, make it easy to achieve, make it difficult to avoid. So when we're planning our nutrition, that starts at the beginning of the week or before you go on your weekly food shop. Write down the meals that you're going to have throughout the week. It doesn't need to be to the minute detail of every little snack and every single thing you eat. But if you put your main meals down throughout the week, it should only take 5 minutes, especially if some of your breakfast, your lunches are the same thing, which I would recommend, and then just mix it up a little bit on the evening. If you plan that ahead of time, it's going to make it much more likely that you do actually stick to that. So if that's the start, the next step is actually either going to the shop, buying the ingredients yourself, or getting food shop delivered. I know that's quite popular at the moment. And to make it even easier, there are a few services that you can get. There's one called Gusto, there's a one called Hello Fresh, which you actually pick the meals that you want, and they will send out just the exact ingredients you need along with a recipe. You can also, if you are going to, say, a Tesco and Asda shop, if you buy the ingredients that are already cut, diced, your vegetables, and little things like that just make it a little bit easier. And if you are tired and you really don't feel like cooking, if you've got your chicken diced, your vegetables all diced, it does make things that bit easier, and again makes it more likely to happen, and it makes it more difficult to avoid. Another aspect that you can make so it is easy to stick to, difficult to avoid, is planning your meals and actually cooking them at a set time throughout the week. So that, say that was a Sunday, if you bought your food in all ready to go, you actually bulk cook your meals, and then you put them in Tupperware, freeze them, put them in the fridge. So throughout the week, when you tend to be that bit busier and you just want something fast, you don't really want to cook, then you can just grab your meal out, it's ready to go, it's healthy, you know what's in it, you cooked it yourself, and it just makes it that much easier and less likely that you are going to go for the quicker option, which is often the unhealthier option, as I'm sure you're all aware. Now the next one is the trickier one and does take some discipline, but if you've got kids especially, and you know you're going to need them sugary sweets, the biscuits, things like that in the house, is just make it as difficult for yourself as you can, whether that's putting the bad stuff like in a cupboard out the way upstairs. It could be the one I sometimes do, put it on top of the kitchen cupboards so it's not in my line of sight, and I have to actually get a chair and stand on the bench to reach it. So if you're just searching through the cupboards, it's not immediately in sight, which on its own, it doesn't seem like it would work, but the amount of times you just actually forget what's there because it's not something that you're seeing every day. It will surprise you, and it does work. And so it's just little things like that. If you know you've got you've got wine, you've got beer in that you don't want to have during the week, then beer especially, if you keep that in a cupboard somewhere where you know it's not going to be chilled and nice and ready for you to have on the spot, then do that. If it's wine, you could just put it out the way again so you know you're not going to see it. And then if you do want it, say on a Friday night, then on a Thursday you just get everything out, you get your beer in the fridge and whatnot, and you've actually planned for it, and you're not just reacting to how you feel in the moment. Okay, so those are the basic ideas behind it. Plan as much as you can for your exercise, for your meals. Prepare ahead of time. Make it easy to do, difficult to avoid. Hopefully that helps, guys. Give it your best. Let me know if you struggle with anything and I can't help you out in any way. Right, now we're into the weekly fitness challenge. Last week we went through the steps challenge again, which is a good one. And if you go on daily walks often and you do enjoy it, you don't need to not do it this week. Absolutely keep that up because it's a great habit to do. But this week we're going to have a fitness challenge. We've done a few of these already and they've tended to be 5 days. This time it's going to be 3 days. It can be any 3 days throughout the week that you like. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a 10-minute workout. So this 10-minute workout, it can go into that 10-minute of exercise habit that we went through at the start. And we're going to have some options. It's going to be 5 different exercises that you can choose from, but they all have a different point value. So I'll be back with you in a second. We're going to go through the demonstrations and the format of your 10-minute workout. Right, so your 10-minute workout, how's it going to work? You've got 10 minutes to get as many reps in as you can of any of these 5 exercises in any order, in any combination that you want. But they do all have different values. This is based on how quick you can do them and how difficult they are. So for 1 point, we're going to do jumping jacks. 2 points, lunges. 3 points, squats. 4 sit-ups and 5 burpees. I'll go through these in a moment. So basically, if you do 100 jumping jacks in 10 minutes, then you get 100 points. If you're doing 100 burpees in 10 minutes, you get 500 points. Okay, but you don't need to do one or the other. You could do 50 burpees, 100 jumping jacks, 50 squats. Combine it however you want. I would suggest doing as many variations as you can, just to make it a little bit more exciting and not as boring for you. But it is totally down to you. If you really hate burpees, avoid them completely. So let's quickly go through the movement standards, just in case you are not familiar. For jumping jacks, all we're going to do, standing up, we're going to do a little side step, hands together at the top, like that. Pretty simple. You can do these ones quite quick. That's why they are number 1, being only 1 point per rep. But as I say, you can get through quite a few within a short amount of time. Number 2 is lunges. So 2 reps per leg. So that would be 2 reps, 2 points, 4 points, and so on. So each rep you do, you get 2 points for it. So it's not 1 leg is 1 point, 1 leg is 2 points. Then for 3 points, what we're going to do is squats. What we're trying to do on those is get the hips below the knee, keep your chest high, lock it out fully at the top. Sit-ups is the next one. With your sit-ups, we can use something to anchor your feet down. You can tuck them under a bench, sofa, whatever you need to do, or you can plonk a weight down on them, just so if you go back and your feet come off and you can't get back up, it makes it that bit easier for you. If you don't need that, that's fine. We'll just go back, touch the floor, touch the floor there. Just like that. And number 5, the tough one, burpees. So burpees, how these look, chest to the floor, like that. Not as easy as that. We do have a few variations. You can step down, like that. All we're looking for is going from standing to laid on the floor to back to your feet. However you do that, it's up to you. So those are your 5 movements. 3 times per week, we're going to do a 10-minute workout where you combine all of them movements or a variation of them movements together to get your 10-minute workout and hopefully get a good score. And you would just track all your points each workout, add them all up, and then you'd have a weekly total. Right guys, that's it for another week. Hopefully these videos are still helping you. If there's anything in particular that you want me to go through, anything you want me to... Right, that wraps it up for another week. Hopefully you are feeling the benefit of these videos. And if there's anything in particular you would like me to talk about, then please just drop me an email and I'll be more than happy to go through it. All the best guys, have a great week.